there, I'm Sherry Lefevre, and this video is going to be for people who are doing their first harp lesson. Now, when people first come to me, like the first day, I like to go over the basics, so that's what this video is going to be. So the most important thing when you're playing harp is you want to sit up straight, have correct posture, and then you want to find the balance point for your harp to make sure that you're not putting too much pressure on your shoulders, okay? So try to, first of all, just find that point where the harp wants to balance without you interfering. And that's sort of where you want to have it when you're playing. That way it's not relying on your shoulder to stay up, and it's also not going too far forward. So this looks to be about right. It's not going too far forward or back. It's kind of wants to balance on its own. So when you find that point, just rest it gently on your right shoulder. Okay. Now, before you play, you also want to make sure that you are moving your fingers correctly. So my mantra is thumbs up, fingers down. So keep your wrists flat, pull your thumb up, and push your fingers down. And I want you to repeat this motion, pulling your fingers into your palm. And then do the same with the other hand. And that's going to be the motion that you're using when you play the harp. That way you're not putting too much stress on your arms and your tendons. It's all coming from your fingers. Now, when you are playing, you want to make sure your left elbow is up. It's kind of hard to see, but you want to make sure it's like more or less perpendicular with the floor when you're playing, okay? The right elbow can be down because you're going to be playing higher in the strings, okay? So that's the most important thing before you get started. You don't want to be playing incorrectly, because you could, besides injuring yourself, you're just down the road doing it wrong is not going to help. So make sure those three things are in line, okay? Now, the first thing I do with students, even before tuning the lever harp, which I will show in another video, is to not even worry if you know music at all. It's just to get used to the motion. So what I'm going to show you is, first thing you want to do is locate the red note on your harp and put all three, play in the middle of the strings. Try to gauge the exact middle of the string, and then put your 4 fingers on the string. I'm going to try to show it in this. Okay, so. And then just practice that motion of using your fingers to pluck the strings. Now you want all 4 fingers on the 4 strings, starting with the red string. And then just repeat that motion until it feels comfortable, keeping the thumb up and the fingers down. Again, make sure all 4 fingers are on the strings, and only take them off one by one, pulling the fingers into the palm. Okay, now we're going to go back down. So when we go back down, before you're going back down, put your fingers back on the strings. Do the same thing down. Okay, and now just keep doing that. I would recommend at least 20 minutes of that, just to practice your posture and your plucking technique. And then move on to the right hand and do the exact same thing. Notice how my fingers are pulling all the way into my palm. You almost want to exaggerate it first, just to make sure that you're doing it correctly. And you want to feel tension between your thumb and your fingers. Okay, and then go back down. But before you go back down, make sure that you're putting all of your fingers back on the strings. Do the same thing going up. Make sure all your fingers are on the strings and then go back up. You just do this motion. Okay? Now, when you feel comfortable doing that with both hands, then put them together. Start on a red string on the bottom, and then start your right hand with a red string on the top, and do the exact same thing, going really slowly, but do them at the same time. Okay? Now, I know that seems really simple, but my first lesson with students, that's what I really just try to focus on, is just making sure correct posture, sitting up straight. You know, they use the same analogy in ballet class, but you imagine like someone pulling a string in the middle of your head, and just keep straight. And then find the balance point on the harp, so you don't feel a lot of pressure on your right shoulder. Elbows up on the left hand, and then repeat that motion. Wrists flat, and then fingers into the palms. And that's what you're trying to drill into your brain when you first start. Because if you don't get those fundamentals right, then you're going to have to relearn it down the road. So that is what I teach students my first lesson. I hope this is helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, if there's any other videos you want me to do. I do reply to all my comments, and I look forward to seeing you soon.